Let's welcome everybody to the T350 show, BYOAR studio. I'm gonna, there we go, pull this up. I don't have the Rona. I'm just got it spit down the wrong way. Okay. Dang. So we'll give the audience a little time to build here now that we're, let me check, we got sound. Yep, we got sound. Doggone. I swallowed spit the wrong way. Okay, so we'll give the audience a little time to build here. It's good to be back. Took a week off and went and did a little deer hunting with the guys. We had a good time. It was a good vacation. A lot of work. Hunting's hard work. I ended up getting a doe Thursday evening at the at my blind, and I think there's about 12 or 13 of us that hunt together throughout the week. Not everybody hunts all at the same time. Some hunt at various times, work commitments and other things. But Bobby counted them up the other night, and pretty sure that between our whole group we got 17 deer. So some guys got 2, one guy got 3, a bunch of us got 1. But, yeah, we did pretty good. We got a bunch of them. We got a bonus weekend coming up in a couple weeks. And I'm still looking for a decent set of antlers. I was chasing a big old 10-point that was coming up on camera on my blind almost every night. And I got out Thursday evening, sat down, and I was like, okay, is tonight the night? Is it? He's going to come in tonight. Is this it? And I got sat down and I pulled out my phone, and we have a local hunting for the county, Ashtabula County hunting site, and I started scrolling through it, and I was like, oh, that's a nice buck that guy got. And I looked a little closer, and I'm like, oh, no. And I pulled out my cell camera pictures, and I'm like, yep. He had a floppy ear that was damaged, and he had a busted tine with a kicker coming off of it, and somebody got my deer. A guy on a neighboring property got my 10-point. I was really deflated. I was really bummed. So about an hour later, those 2 does came out, and well, it was their unlucky time because I wasn't going to shoot a doe. I was waiting for the buck. But once I realized he was gone, well, I went ahead and put some meat in the freezer. But yeah, like I said, we got a bonus weekend coming up, and then we got muzzleloader season right after first of the year. Always love muzzleloader hunting. Always have. It's just an outright blast. And you got to make sure everything's right, because you get one shot. That's it. You get one chance at it. So last week, Matt was in here. He took over for me while I was out hunting, and he talked about the AR-10 platform and building an AR-10, the different calibers and the different things you got to watch out for, the different variations. Not everything is mil spec in the AR-10, and a lot of stuff is proprietary, and you got to make sure you get the right stuff. I mentioned it last week during his broadcast. When you're building an AR-10, just the best thing I can tell you is to buy a kit that is all the parts are matched, or make sure you're buying all the parts from the same company. That way you're not mixing a lower and an upper and a handguard, and and nothing matches, nothing fits. So try to, when and where you can, try to buy the parts all from the same place. We got our deal going on this week for Christmas. Free shipping on anything we have in stock. Even if you order a $13 gas block, you're going to get free shipping on that. $14 gas block, whatever they are. You're going to get free shipping on anything in stock for the store. So if you got a gun enthusiast on your Christmas list and you want to get them something, and you can get it from us, and we'll give you free shipping on that. And if you do want to get something for Christmas, try to get it ordered by like the 17th or so. If it's in stock, we ship same day if you order it early enough, or we ship next day at a minimum. So if you get it ordered by the 17th, we should be able to get it to you before Christmas with 2 or 3 day priority shipping from the USPS. So this week, in honor of hunting season and the fact that now here in Ohio we're allowed to use straight wall cartridges for deer. I built myself a 350. I have a 450 Bushmaster bolt gun that I really like. It's a great gun. And I built myself a 350 Legend in the AR platform. And a friend of mine, he built himself a 450 Bushmaster in the AR platform, and he's having a bunch of problems with it. It's effectively a single shot because every time, even when you go to load the first one, it was wanting to jam and you had to force the round in there, and then it just wouldn't cycle until it came to the, and we're only allowed 3 here in Ohio in our guns for deer hunting. So when it came to the third round, it would load just fine. The last round would load just fine, but any of the rounds in between, they wouldn't load. And he handed it to me Sunday after we got done hunting and the season was over. He handed me the gun and said, "Here, fix this." And figure out what's wrong with it for me. So I dove into it. And in fact, I was pretty sure it was a magazine issue. These 450 rounds, 450 is not the greatest caliber for the AR platform because of the shape of the bullet. The rim here is a little smaller, okay, than the rest of the bullet. And the bullet itself is actually tapered. So if you mic this bullet all the way down at the bottom, you're going to see that it's 498 thousandths. Okay? Just about a half of an inch. And if you take the same bullet, same case, and you mic it up here, you're going to see it's 477 thousandths. So it's 20 thousandths smaller from the rear to the front. Okay? And then the rim itself is 467 thousandths, which is about 10 thousandths smaller than the case, which is fine. You want the rim to be equal to or smaller than the case for, a semi-automatic gun. But what that does, especially in the magazine, is because the bullet's tapered, it doesn't, the fingers in a magazine, they don't grip the bullet in the same spot. And what ends up happening is these bullets end up, you see how they can lift up, right? If they're not seated properly, they end up lifting up. And they're sitting in there like this, okay? So I was pretty sure this was a magazine issue, and I was going off of the assumption that there was something wrong with the magazines or that they were just bad magazines. And that, in fact, I thought that the bolt carrier group was lodging on the back of the magazine. Mike came in, one of our inspectors, and he says, well, let me film it in slow motion, loading a round, and let's see what happens. Okay, so we loaded up the magazine with 3 rounds. We put it in, closed the chamber, and we ran it back in slow motion. And lo and behold, we found that the round, we thought the bullet was getting stuck going up into the chamber. And what was happening when we watched it in slow motion, the bolt was coming forward, the bolt was stopping, and the bullet was continuing to go. Okay? So it wasn't the bullet. The bullet was loose. It was the bolt that was getting stuck. And then so we dove in and we tried to figure out why the bolt was getting stuck. And I thought it was the back of the magazine. So I took this magazine here and I buffed out the back corners. You can see I buffed out the back corners here to smooth them out and round them down. Didn't help. Okay, so we started loading some more rounds and cycling them manually, and pretty soon we started looking, and we noticed that when the bullet jammed, the bullet underneath was starting to go up into the feed ramp, and that the bolt face, what we found out, and you can see if you look closely at these bullets, you can see the dents. Okay, you got a good view of that, Dan, right? See, you can see the dents in there, all right? That told me that something was grabbing the bullet and pushing the bullet underneath the one that was going into the chamber was pushing it up into the feed ramp. and you could see it in there. You could see it lodging up into the feed ramp and bending this polymer tip up, and you could force this closed, okay? You know, it was getting stuck like halfway, and if you hit the side charger, you could force it, okay? And then you could cycle it and it would jam, and then like I said, the last round it would close just fine. So I got to taking this thing apart, and I'll show you what I discovered. Okay, we'll set that aside. So this is a side charger, so we got to take that out of the back. We got to take the side charger off. I'm going to pull the bolt out. So here's what we discovered. On a standard bolt carrier group, if you look right here, okay, these edges are very sharp. There's a little chamfer here, there's a little chamfer here, a little chamfer on the front, little chamfer on the front, but the corner was very, very sharp, okay? You can feel it. There's not a lot of forgiveness there. And because of the fact that these bullets sit in these magazines up at an angle like this, as this was dragging across here, okay, it's grabbing right here, gouging into the aluminum, and then it was shoving the round underneath forward up in, and then it was picking up like this up into the feed ramp, and it was jamming the bullet. It was jamming the bolt carrier group from going forward. You could shake the gun back and forth. The bullet going into the chamber would just slot back and forth, but this was physically stopping the bolt from coming forward, the round underneath. Okay? So what I did was I took this bolt carrier group, and we have these things here at the shop called cork wheels. It's a semi-abrasive cloth type of wheel. And if you look, you can see, and I'm going to look up here at the screen and make sure that you guys are getting a good view of this. You can see right here, these two corners, okay? I took them and I rounded them off a little bit. I just took that polishing wheel and I took the sharp edge off just enough so that your finger glides over that nice and smooth. Okay? So we put this thing all back together. And I can't hang on to nothing. Where'd it go?
Behind the screen.
Did it go behind the screen?
Yep.
Oh, that's great. Hold on one second. I got to have that. Yep, it sure did. Okay. I'm back. It's like a magic act. Okay. Okay. Now, so we couldn't make this thing cycle one round, all right? Even by hand. And now, safety's on. Cycle's perfect. Not jamming, not stopping. There it was. Just that quick little polish on those bottom legs, of the bolt carrier group that ride over top of the bullet right here was enough to make this stop happening, where you can see it was digging into the bullet and lifting that bullet up into the feed ramp and stopping the bolt carrier group from being able to push the previous round up into the chamber. So we're going to take it out tomorrow and test fire it in my backyard range, and hopefully we've got the issue all resolved for Matt, and he has more than a single shot, because pretty much that's effectively what he had, was a single shot 450. So if I saw a couple guys commenting today about building the 450 and the various issues they had with it, and the things that they did to fix them. The slow motion video was fantastic. We might not have discovered what was really going on without that slow motion video. Like I said, Mike brought his iPhone in and filmed it, and then we slowed it down, and you could actually watch the bolt stop and the bullet continue on. So then we realized it wasn't a bullet issue. Alan, I believe that's a Bear Creek. I want to say it's a Bear Creek. The handguard leads me to believe that it's Bear Creek. I'm not 100% sure, but the handguard is what leads me to believe that it's a Bear Creek Arsenal upper. I like it. I like that side charging upper. That's especially with a scope that sits as far back on a hunting rifle like this. It's very hard to get to a standard charging handle sometimes without having a extended latch on it, and that side charger is really nice. But like I said, don't quote me, but I think it's a Bear Creek Arsenal. And I know Bear Creek gets a bad rap. I personally have never had any issue. I've got a couple barrels that I bought from them, and they perform fine. I haven't had any. I can't complain. I've heard other people say that they've had issues, and that and I've heard other people say they've had issues, and that Bear Creek fixed them immediately. So I take the company for what it's worth based on my own experience, and my own experience is that I haven't had any issues. So that's all I'll say. But they're inexpensive, and this thing is very accurate when it shoots. It dots the eye at 100 yards. There's no issue about that. But I think now that we got it working, like I said, I'm going to take it out tomorrow. We'll do a little live video from the range, make sure this thing is cycling properly under fire. A little bit of a difference from charging it manually, right? There's a hell of a lot more force and explosion and things happening when you actually fire a gun versus just grabbing it and charging it by hand. So there's a big difference there. So we want to make sure that it's functioning properly by actually shooting it and putting it under that stress and that duress. But pretty simple fix, I think, once we dove into it. Slow motion video is your friend, and just taking your time and really looking at the clues. The fact that we were getting these digs in here in the bullet, these dents in the bullet was telling me a lot. And the rub marks, you can just see the extensive striations on here where the bolt carrier group was dragging across the top of this thing, and then it would grab and it would push that round up in, and it just really, as we were cycling these things manually, it just beat the snot out of them. I'm almost afraid to fire these things. I don't know. They'd probably send just fine, but so if you ever have any issues with a gun that you've built, and the guys in the group are always willing to help. We're always willing to help. You can send us videos, and we'll try to troubleshoot on the fly. There's nothing like having a gun in your hand when you're trying to troubleshoot it and figure out what's going on with it. But video and slow motion video works wonders. And if you can send somebody that's got some knowledge of these things a little slow motion video or a video of what's going on, a lot of times we can diagnose it with just video. So it's going to be a short video today. We'll catch some more tomorrow as we shoot live from the range to make sure that this gun is functioning properly now that we think we have it fixed. And we appreciate you guys joining us today. Stay safe out there. Stay healthy. If hunting season's still rolling for you, good luck. Hope everybody gets a crack at a deer. I got another, like I said, I got another weekend, and I got muzzleloader, and we got archery all the way through the end of January. So I'll get another one, and if I don't, I don't. I just like hunting. Nice to be out in the woods. So thanks for joining us. Don't forget, free shipping on anything in the store this week, even the $14 gas block. You're gonna get the shipping for free. We have $7.50 flat rate shipping and free shipping on anything over $125. In fact, if you're going to spend over $125 and you were going to get free shipping anyway, shoot me an email. I'll give you a special code that'll save you $10 on your order if you're going to spend over the $125 and would have got free shipping anyway. Want to make it worth your while. So if you email me or call me, message me on Facebook, whatever it is, I'll get you that code for $10 off any order over $125 as well. So thanks for joining me. I appreciate you guys being here. We'll see y'all next week. And remember, you don't have to be an expert to build your own AR, to upgrade it or maintain it. We're here to help you do that. Thank you.